All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a video on whether America is mentioned in the Bible, right? And before I start this lesson as well, I want to say this, man, right? Some of you scoffers that want to try and get on the comment board and try and go against everything that we say, right? And then when we propose questions to you back in return, want to try and not answer any questions, and all you want to say things like, I'm not going to answer your question, but the answer that you've gave, I'm going to reject the answer that you've gave, but I'm not going to give an alternative response or an alternative as to what a certain scripture means. And then time goes by, and then you have the nerve to try and ask us further questions on anything. We don't have to answer none of your questions, man, right? And then when you get told that I don't want to answer questions, or we don't want to answer none of your questions, right? You delete the comment to try and make out like, oh, I never asked anything anyway. Nah, man, you did ask a question. You did want to try and think that you could try and scoff and then come back afterwards and try and ask questions, man. We don't have to answer none of your questions, man. We don't have to cast our pearls before swine, right? There's more than enough videos out there to show what we believe the truth is, right? And if you had the patience to watch them, you'd understand what we believe the truth is. So don't think that you're going to be to try and set us in those snares and try and catch us up in our words, because there's more than enough of our words out there to show what we believe. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 6, give not that which is unholy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. So we don't need to keep giving out information to any of you people that want to try and ask us questions, man. And then when we give you the answer, you turn again and start scoffing again. We don't have to wait. We don't want to waste our time doing that kind of activity. We don't want to waste our time answering your questions, and then you come back to us again, asking us the same thing over and over again. Or there's certain individual people out there, there's certain people out there, right, that want to ask Hebrew Israelites different questions all over the globe, as if the answers are going to change. It's going to be the same answer. You don't need to go all the way to the UK or go all the way to France to ask a question. Just answer it on the comment board, man. You already know the doctrine of what we believe. So why you keep asking us questions for, and we don't have to answer none of your questions. Now that I've said that, right, I'm gonna go into the scriptures, and there's a thing that people want to keep talking about, right? And I've seen that people want to say, oh, they want to ask the question, is America mentioned in the Bible? And you've got certain people out there that they want to say, oh no, America is not mentioned in the Bible, right? But I'm saying otherwise. America is mentioned in the Bible, right? And it's mentioned in the Bible in quite a few places. And I'm going to mention one place. Well, I'm going to mention a few places that it's mentioned. And the first one is going to be in the book of Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 51. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken over wine, therefore the nations are maddened. Babylon, right, in this particular chapter is talking about America. It's talking about Babylon the Great, which is what America is known as in the Bible, right? It doesn't have to say America in the Bible. Just like how all the nations on the earth right now, they don't go by the names that the scriptures have of people in the Bible. The Bible names for nations in the scriptures that we see, right? The Philistines, Hamites, Moabites, and stuff like that. People don't call themselves by them names now. So does that mean that we don't go back to these people? Does that mean that the people on the earth right now don't go back to don't go back to the three sons of Noah? Because people don't call themselves by the nations that Noah's three sons named their sons that were born after the flood. Does that mean that we don't go back to those people because we don't call ourselves by those names? Of course it don't, right? Everyone on the earth goes back to a biblical nationality. This is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 7 again. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. It's not talking about drunken in terms of alcohol. It's talking about drunken based on how their mind's been defiled by the ideas, right? The ideas that are pushed out by this particular place. And this particular place, right, is America. Because there's not nowhere on the earth that spews out more weird ideas and thought processes as America. All the crazy ideas that fly out of the world come from America, and you can find every single culture of people in America because they've deliberately went out of their way to push those ideas, man. They've deliberately went out of their way to make sure that every single culture can be all within one land, because there's certain things that Esau himself will recognize that he might like about certain cultures. He might like their food, he might like the way that they have clothes, and he's in control of the world right now. So he'll say, okay, grab the best of these people, or any one of these people that can make the things that I enjoy from their culture, and bring them over to my country that I've now stolen from another group of people, and make them make the things that I enjoy from their culture in my country to bring glory unto me. That's what they've did, man. And I'm gonna get a scripture on that. You got all these people that are complaining. But at the grand scheme of things, in a spiritual sense, man, forget what all this worldly stuff. In the spiritual sense, these Edomites don't have a clue what's going on, man. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, right? Which goes back into the same kind of thing about how Babylon the Great have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that's made all the earth drunken. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto himself all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Now, what place in the world is it that you can go to where you will find every culture, every type of people on the earth can be found in America? There's nowhere else on the earth that you can find every single culture that exists among people other than America, man. It's clear, right? And that's going to be made more clear in the scriptures that I'm going to read in a minute about what Babylon the Great is about. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 7 again. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. America tells the world what to do, man. America's the one that tells all these other nations on how to do things. They're in charge worldwide. And you might say, nah, they're not. Who has the world reserve currency? Which country is it that has the world reserve currency? Is the world reserve country not at the dollar? Don't people have to buy all their oil and stuff like that worldwide with the American dollar bill? So that right there is a proof that they're in charge, man. They're in charge. And because of them having the world reserve currency, they've been able to think in their minds that their actual currency would never inflate or nothing like that, because they are in charge. Like they have, or they thought they had the most valuable currency in the world because of that. But it's being made known to them that actually that's not true. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. And this is talking about future things that's going to happen to Babylon the Great, which is America. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. And the talk of healing Babylon right now, America, which is Babylon the Great, right, is being spoken of, where the people are saying, make America great again. It's not going to be made great again. And in fact, the truth of the matter is, it never was great. The truth of the matter is, it claimed to be Christian, but actually was destroying the people that the Bible is about, the Israelites. And the main Israelite that it's about is Yahushua, the Messiah, right? And America has actually destroyed the people that the Messiah came to die for, which is the Negro, Latino, and Native American, who are the real Israelites. They're the real Israelites, the people that the Bible is speaking of when it mentions Israelites, the people that people call that in the world really are not. We are. But people don't want to accept that. But then at the same time, they want to try and make it like they're Christians, but they have never even really considered who the real Israelites are. They haven't really ever did no research into this topic, but they'll just disagree with what we say straight away, but have not did any research into the real truth of what's going on in the world, man. Verse 9 again, Jeremiah 51 verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment is reached unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Now, America and the places like the UK, they like to quickly try and tell everyone, get out of their country, get out of this, get out of that. But these people's actual countries, America and places like the UK, have helped destroy other people's cultures, man. And then when people have got their own countries and stuff like that, them other countries that people have around the world have natural resources that places like the UK, France, America steal, and then put those people under subjection and get those people to take their natural resources, and then they steal the price, they steal it, or they buy it for such a low price that it may as well be called stealing anyway, man. Like with France, and I believe it was the lithium, the price that they was charging for lithium was that they was paying for lithium was disgusting when you consider how much they sell it for. But they'll make excuses for why they was doing that. They'll feel justified for doing such things, man. And everyone around the world is tired of the excuses, man. And as much as people can say, oh, go to your own country this and go to your own country that, there's more than enough people in the world that never came anywhere near Americans or any Edomite people that call themselves white, and still found themselves among them. These Edomites still found themselves all up in their face, bothering them and disturbing their culture, man. And if you want to doubt that, tell me what the Atlantic slave trade was about. Tell me about what that was about. Tell me what the taking of America from the Native American Indians was really about. What was that? Tell me how you can say that you discovered a place that people have been living in centuries before they ever met you. So how can you discover someone else's house? If I go into someone's house, yeah, in anywhere in the UK, and I say, oh, I've discovered this person's house, and I decide to steal it, people are going to look at me like I'm a madman saying that I discovered that person's house. And yet that's what happened with America. People came to another person's home in their land, claimed that they discovered it, and killed the people that were living there and called them savages. But even if they were savages, okay, you go be civilized wherever you want to be then. How about that? How about you realize that the savage and you just leave that country and go and find somewhere to be civilized then, wherever you was originally. But these Edomites never view things that way, man. They never think about it that way. They always have got an excuse for why they should be able to kill and pillage everyone. They always got an excuse, man. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And it's not talking about how people are like these things. This is talking about the aftermath of what is going to happen to America. World War III is going to result in America being destroyed, because all the people around the world are going to come to the conclusion that America is the problem of the earth. They're going to come to the conclusion that America is the reason why all the problems of the earth are really being magnified, man. And America is the catalyst of most of the world's problems. And that's because America has been a golden cup, like the scripture calls it Babylon. But Babylon, that is mentioned in Jeremiah 31, is really America, right? America have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, right? Which America is Babylon. But it says Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that's made all the earth drunken, right? Verse 3, Revelation 18, verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Now, the whole purpose of America has been to make sure that the Israelites, the real Israelites' lives are miserable. Now, if you believe that statement I just said, well, then you have to consider whose lives America has made miserable. Negroes, people that get called Caribbean, African American, right? Barbadians and all these kind of different terms, right? Black British, Mexicans, right? Native American Indians, Colombians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. These people are the Israelites. The Negroes, Latinos, Latinas, Native Americans, those people that are Israelites. Now, people will laugh at hearing this, right? But then after really hearing why we believe this stuff and going into Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and speaking about the curses of that chapter, it all of a sudden stops being funny to people once they really start hearing what we believe. There's not nothing funny about it. We really are the Israelites, right? And I've been watching the Olympics on and off for the past week or whatever, how long it's been, right? And in the Olympics, in pretty much every single country that I've seen, they have a so-called black person in the midst of every single one of their countries. That they're using in the hopes of trying to get a gold medal. So if there ain't nothing special about us, why you got us all up in your countries trying to use us to make you win things, right? And that's what the world did. America's been able to get extreme wealth and glory and praise put on it because of having so-called black men all up in that country, man. Who's going to be winning them, or who's been winning most of them their gold medals? Now, granted, there's been certain Caucasian people, if whatever you want to say, that have won gold medals in things like swimming and stuff like that. There has been. But when it comes to certain events, there's nothing but Israelites in those so-called black men, Latinos, all up in the events, man. Mexicans, all up in the events. South American people, right? All up in all of the events, man. Like it's disgusting how they try and make it like we're not worth anything, but then they try and use us as a people to glorify themselves, man. And then they try and make it like, oh, Americans are so talented. Americans are so talented. Listen, man, the whole Olympics is basically worshipping black men's skill and black women's skill in things. That's what the whole Olympics has been most of the time, for most of it, man. Judo, the 100 kilogram Olympic, the 100 kilogram gold medal went to a Israelite, a so-called black man that lives in France. He damn grabbed that Japanese guy and dashed him on the floor, man. Twisted him up, dashed him on the ground. But they'll acknowledge that all these glorious things about us and how the world would be a boring place with us without us on it, and that we're the salt of the earth. But then at the same time, they don't want to acknowledge that we're the Israelites. But they know that there's something special about us because they're always trying to disturb any kind of hopes for us to get peace. And they always try and throw us in the mix of any conversation that goes on in the world, man. Anytime anything happens, they always have to try and bring us involved in it in some way, even when we don't want to be involved. And even in the midst of this whole rioting thing going on right now, they're trying to bring so-called Caribbean people and African American and the Israelites in general. They're trying to bring people like us into this somehow. They're trying to find a way to make us be involved. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4 and verse 3 again, for all nations have drunken of wine and the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, because they've been a part of the trying to make the Israelites' lives be miserable, man, and to make the world be secretly against them ever getting to know who they are, but it didn't work. Now people won't want to believe that, but read Psalms 83rd chapter. And you'll know that it's obviously not secretly against the people that live in the land of Israel that are calling themselves Israelites, because they're within all the meetings about these kind of things. They're given access to the meetings about these things. We ain't. We're not given a seat at the table to talk about these things. They don't give a damn what we've got to say about anything. They don't care. They're trying to make the world be so that we can't have no peace. Verse 3 again, Revelation 18 and verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, because they've followed after the same defiled ways as what America pushes out, man. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, if a man has a merchant ship, a ship that carries goods from one place to another with the hopes of selling items to get rich, what place in the whole earth can you say that if you are able to sell here, you will become rich? What place is there, if you had to pick one place on the whole earth that you can say, if you've got a market here, you are going to become rich? Now, people that live in the UK that follow the music world, everyone knows that musicians, that not every single musician that's popular in the UK becomes popular in America. But if a musician becomes popular in America, the chances are he's also going to be known in the UK. So it would make more sense if you wanted to become rich as a musician to start off selling your things in America, and then through it being popular in America, everywhere else is going to think, okay, well, if it's popular there, then I want to use it here. Where did McDonald's start? Did McDonald's not start in America? But now you can get McDonald's in Egypt, right? You can get McDonald's in Egypt. You can get McDonald's in the UK. You can get McDonald's in France, Brazil, Spain, Japan. There ain't really too many places that you can think of finding McDonald's. And I'm pretty sure Burger King probably started in America too. KFC. It starts off in America, but then it gets pushed out everywhere else. And that's part of the wine. Oh, America says that it's good to eat burgers and chips for majority of the fast food is burgers and chips, some kind of breaded thing with meat and chips. So then now that's what most of the people in the world everywhere think. America says, oh, it's good to build towers high up to the heavens. So now everywhere does that. America pushes out the idea of suits and ties, and now everyone's doing it. It starts off there most of the time, man. That's the wine. Their ideas is what makes people drunk. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. In fact, let me go back to verse 3 again. And the merchants of the earth, the last part, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. If you can get rich in America, if you was to try and desire to be rich from one country or one place, it would be America. That would be the best place for you to become rich. America does the most imports worldwide, even though there's other countries in the world that have 4 times the population. America's population is roughly like 300 to 350, maybe a bit more, give or take, million. But there's places in the world like India and China that have 1.4 billion, give or take a couple of 100 million for each of those 2 countries. And yet they don't have as much imports as America does, when America's got a quarter of the population. And that point is going to be made more significant in the next scriptures that I'm going to read. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4, and I heard another angel from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye reach not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she have rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. What's the American dream? The UK ain't got a dream. There ain't no English dream, right? But America's the only place in the world that's got a dream. People say, oh, I'm going to America to get the American dream. No one's ever said that term about the UK. No one comes from another country and comes to the UK saying, oh, I fled from whatever land I came from to come to the UK to get the UK dream. Nah, that don't exist. Nobody comes to the UK to get a dream. Nobody really even goes, even London, which is a place that people can get rich through there. But people are gonna would say if they came to London, they ain't gonna say I came to get the London dream or the America or the UK dream. But if they was to go to New York, which is a city that's similar, they'll say I've come to New York to get the American dream. That everyone knows that term. Everyone's heard this be said before. Verse 7 again, Revelation 18 and 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And America is the main place in the world that really believes that, because they are always boasting in their military. They think that their military is so great that they would never have to experience what nobody else in the earth has ever experienced, man. They really believe that. They really think in their mind that they would never, ever end up in the same situation as any other place, because they've got such a great military. That's the main reason why they think it, right? Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, because Yahweh has prescribed America, which is Babylon the Great, to be destroyed by nuclear fire, man. Now, people can get emotional about it all they want. It's not going to stop it from happening. And there's certain people that believe in the Lord over in the land of America that are going to escape that, by a heavenly salvation. Now, again, people laugh. But if you're a person that says that you believe in God, and especially the God of the Bible, that should not seem funny to you, because rain was once considered a outrageous idea. Rain falling from the sky. Now, if I was to say it might rain tomorrow, that would not no longer be a crazy idea for people, because they're used to seeing rain now. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's all it's going to take for America to be destroyed. 1 hour, right? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. People ain't going to mourn America falling as a country and being destroyed because of how righteous it was. Because the nations are mad based on how America is, right? The nations are angry because they've believed and followed after the ways of America. And when they actually come to the conclusion that they have to destroy that place because it's a problem, right? All the nations that are allies of America also are going to do this, man. They're going to realize that America's more of a problem than the people that America points out as being a problem. And they're going to destroy that place. But then at the same time, they're going to remember the riches that they made from that place. And they're going to be like, well, where are we going to find buyers of all these goods that we have? Because nobody bought like America did. Nobody enjoyed luxury and delicacy more than that place. Verse 11, and the merchant, and Revelation 18:11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth the merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon. And when you look up certain houses, right, you're going to see that some of the most beautiful houses and most luxurious houses in America, you know. I know people try and hype up places like Dubai and stuff like that. No, the best houses that you're going to see in the world most of the time right now are in America. Places like California, Miami, right? Even places like Texas. You're going to see these big, luxurious houses, man, with all these expensive materials used in there. And that's what this scripture is going into. Verse 13, and cinnamon and odors of ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Right? I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, right, when a recent movie came out about human, I don't want to say the word, man, but about the capture of and the taking of humans around the world. People should know what I'm talking about when I say that, man. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the main places that they said that this takes place is America. So that goes into that as well, man. That the most that it happens in is in America, even though they try and push it out that it's other places. No, it's actually mainly in America that it happens. And people can look that up to see. Verse 14, and the fruits and the fruits that they so lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more, all because the whole land of America is going to be destroyed. Ancient Babylon did not get destroyed by fire. The Persians killed them in like a secretive warfare in the night, man. When you read the scriptures in the book of Daniel, that's how the ancient Babylon Empire got taken down by the Persians. It wasn't a thing of them burning it with fire. That's not how it fell. So what place is it talking about when it says Babylon the Great? Where is Babylon the Great? Where is it? If you don't want to believe that America's Babylon the Great, that's up to you. But why would America not be mentioned in the Bible? Why would it not? And if you're a person that says you're a Bible believer, don't you know that America would have to fall in order for the kingdom of heaven to come? Because America is not the kingdom of heaven. America is not the Holy Land. So America would still have to fall, according to the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. America would still have to fall in order for the kingdom of heaven to come. And America, right? America would have been one of the kingdoms that Yahushua, the Messiah of the Bible, got mentioned, that got offered, but he rejected that. America would have been one of those kingdoms that the Messiah, Yahushua, rejected. When you read about how the devil tempted him with all the kingdoms of the earth, that would have included all the kingdoms leading up to now. That would have included every kingdom from that point up till now, apart from the kingdom of heaven. So that would include now. That would include this whole Western, English, European culture thing. Yahushua would have been in charge of all of this if he decided to sell out his own people and to just decide to get what he's after. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 15. And the merchants of these things which are made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the accompanying ships and sailors, and as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this city? Now, people might say, see, it mentions the city. Listen, man. If you view the world as a business like these elites do, they're going to view America like a city. They're going to view that like that. So you people can say whatever you want to say, right? But we've got our belief that we've put out there into the atmosphere of America being Babylon the Great. All you other people that want to disagree with that, you still need to say what you think it is before it happens. So then the world's gonna then look for everyone that's got who they think Babylon the Great is and wait to see what ends up happening. If America gets destroyed completely with nuclear fire, so that humans could never live in there ever again, then we were right. And if it happens to be somewhere else that ends up happening to, then somebody else that said that place, they're right. But you're supposed to read prophecies and say what you think, and then time ends up showing who's telling the truth. You're not supposed to just completely disregard what somebody else says. Time's going to show who's telling the truth, man. Time will show who's telling the truth and who's lying. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 18, and they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, because that place loved luxury. Everyone in America loves luxury, man. They love it. Even the people that are more poor, they are still better off than the poor people somewhere else. And everyone over there, the most arrogant mindsets that you're going to find are in America. Verse 20, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. And that's why the believers in the Lord are going to celebrate when that place gets destroyed, man. They're not going to mourn. They're going to be happy when America gets destroyed, because America has destroyed the real Israelites, which is the Negro, Latino, Native American. And to answer the question on whether America is mentioned in the Bible, yes, it is. But it's called Babylon the Great. And let me get this scripture, because it says in the scriptures, mystery Babylon the Great. So it's not going to call the script in the scriptures. It's not going to say America, because it's meant to be a mystery that only people that have been spiritually gifted to understand are going to know where Babylon the Great is. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I was already just saying about how most of the things that are wicked, if not all of the recent wicked ideas that people now believe in this earth, have been birthed by America. Simple as that, man. 100% facts, that is. Right? And on that, I'm going to end the lesson, man. America is mentioned in the Bible, but it's called Babylon the Great. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.